Welcome to the Hudson County Show. Pat O'Melia here, you concerned county resident there. That's why we do the show, for you to watch it, to show you're concerned by watching the show. And we do it live on Comcast Channel 190 and on livestream.com, hmgtvshows.com, Apple TV, Google Chromecast, Roku. For that matter, they just introduced a new Roku. The only thing I read so far is it controls the TVs and volume. I have Roku at home. It is a good device. Better than the smart TVs. You get, far more programming with it. We're pretty much on all the streaming. We're streaming live on Facebook. These shows then appear on YouTube. We're everywhere. Now, as I say on a Jersey City show a lot, and we can do it here too, if you have an issue with the county of Hudson or your municipalities here in Hudson County, give me a call. If you have a consumer issue in Hudson County, give me a call. Go to our website, hmgtvshows.com. Send me an email. We're pretty good at consumer issues. We're pretty good at dealing with issues. Actually, we're probably batting about 1,000 with that, so we're quite well. Speaking of batting, my Yankees last night. I'm a Yankee Giant fan, so I can revel in the Yankee victory. We were down 2-0 to Cleveland, and we came back and took the next 3 in a best of 5. We are off to Houston, where we're playing the other Yankees. There's a lot of ex-Yankees over there. Our former catcher McCann's there. Carlos Beltran is there. There's a lot of Yankees over there. I think Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, Sanchez, I think we got a real good chance of going far. If people say we're playing with house money now, nobody expected the young team like this, but they matured pretty quick. The kid, Judge, 53 home runs, great season. Last night, CC Sabathia reached back into his bag. It kind of looked like 2009, and that is where he started. He started in Cleveland. I think he made his first start in Cleveland back in about 17 years ago. And he went to the Brewers and now to the Yankees. Great job. We'll catch the Yankees all through the playoffs. Root for my team, the Giants. Pretty sad there. 0-5, and now we're going into Denver. Debates. We just had the Ward A debate Tuesday night for Jersey City. It went quite well. Very impressed with the candidates. Not impressed with a lot of their solutions to problems. Tomorrow we have the Ward B debate, West Side section, Marion section of Jersey City. Chris Gatson here, and we got the 2 challengers, 2 young ladies who are challenging Chris Gatson. And as of right now, I believe it is freeholder Bill O'Day, who is the moderator. It'll either be O'Day or me. Actually, I want to press some of these candidates. I wouldn't mind doing the moderating tomorrow. Remember, we got the mayor's debate at the Landmark Lowe's Theater on the 22nd. That will also be televising live. That's at, I got it at 6 o'clock. I think we got a typo. It's either 6 or 7. But by the time we get there on the 26th, I'll have nailed down the time. So go to livestream.com or HMG TV shows. You can see all the debates that have been filmed already. I'm going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just 1 path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show live on Channel 190 on Comcast. Unfortunately, Comcast is only in Jersey City. We are working with Altice, the old Cablevision, to get us live. They keep telling me they're working on it. They're changing. I don't know. It may convince me to go all in on streaming. But yeah, like I said, you can watch us on your smart TV, your Roku, your Apple TV, your smartphone, your tablet, your computer. There are many, many ways to watch this. So if Altice doesn't get in gear, I might just go all out streaming. President Trump today, by executive order, is changing Obamacare. Basically, it is going to be death by 1,000 cuts with Obamacare. And people saying, well, why is he doing this? Well, first off, he campaigned on repeal or replace. Actually, I think it was repeal, and they kind of put the replace in. There are issues with Obamacare. There are problems that it's expensive. The deductibles are very expensive. Is it better than nothing? Yeah. Now, for a long time, until like 2007, I think, or 2008, we didn't have Obamacare. You had your private insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield. You got it through your employer. You got it on its own. I think 99% of us got it on our own until you hit 65. Then you got your Medicare, Medicaid. There are problems with Obamacare. It's like with Horizon Blue Cross, you take a policy, you're paying for pediatric care, whether you have children or not. My kids are in their 30s, and that was on my bill. Maternity rather, that was on my bill. My wife and I are not having any kids, but you were paying for that. But you were paying it for as a whole. There's some people who didn't have enough money. They would be reduced. They were getting insurance for like $54 a month, where some people were paying $1,200, $1,300 a month. There were issues with Obamacare. I don't even know if we needed Obamacare because we have Medicare and Medicaid. See, really, the answer to Obamacare is the meds. But what President Trump is doing, President Trump is doing, he's going to allow purchasing health care across state lines. You can get health coverage from a company in Nevada. You're going to be able to shop. But right now, it's for employers. Business associations, they can shop as a whole to get the best price they can. And I know there's changes with contraception. The religious exemptions are now being recognized, so they won't have to pay for that. That's what I'm saying. Obamacare is going to die of 1,000 cuts, basically financial cuts. President Obama, for years, would bail out Obamacare by giving money to the insurance companies so they wouldn't leave Obamacare. That's not going to happen under President Trump. The answer, as I said before on our shows, if you watch the Jersey City show, is Medicare and Medicaid. We can reinforce it. We should be able to buy policies through Medicare and Medicaid. Some people get auto insurance through that. I didn't even know that until recently. We didn't need Obamacare because it's another level of bureaucracy in insurance. We have the meds. We could work through that if we're going to have governmental insurance for all. These two systems are in place. Are there abuses? Yep. But technology is catching up with the abuses. Yeah, you're not going to abuse it as well as you did, say, 10 years ago. You cut out the fraud out of Medicare and Medicaid, it's probably affordable for the government. And we can buy our policies through Medicare and Medicaid or some combination of the two, whatever the case is. That's probably the best way to go forward, because eventually, in a very short span of time, Obamacare will be gone. It just won't be funded. The insurance companies are going to bail out of it. What we need to do is when we go through these elections, once the election is done, Dem versus Republican, once that's done, the elected official, their job is the work of the people, not to get entrenched in whatever the Dems and the Republican issues are. Yeah, now you're in Washington to do the job of the people. They are so entrenched in their camps now that they can't function. We are dysfunctional in Washington. You have to start crossing the aisle and working together and come up with a real solution. Now, is it a perfect solution? Probably we won't find that, but we can probably come up with a better one than Obamacare, and that's including our meds, Medicare and Medicaid. You work that in there. But these politicians, they have to go there and stop, this is what Obamacare is. We're going to stand with Obamacare, and Republicans repeal and replace. Somehow, our elected officials have to work together. and come up with a good, workable solution that is affordable for all the people in the United States. It has to be a situation where it's affordable for the policyholder. It works for the doctor. It works for the hospitals. It works for the clinics. It works for the drug manufacturers and the insurance companies. Because as it stands right now, the policyholders can't afford the policy or they can't afford the deductible. The doctors, you see this, they're selling their practices. You see different awnings going up in front of your family doctor because it's becoming very difficult to abide by the insurances, make money through the insurances and through the patients, from the billing medical insurance to malpractice insurance. You see hospitals merging up. There were groups of hospitals in New York that were going to go bankrupt. They weren't making enough money. But then you get to the insurance companies, they're making big money. They're making billions. The drug manufacturers are making billions. So there's a problem here. When you look at all the aspects of healthcare, when we have hospitals that are in danger of going broke or heavily subsidized by the government, you have insurance companies making tons of money, you have the drug makers making tons of money, you have policyholders that can't afford, and you have doctors selling their practice. If they're all part of the healthcare, they all should do as well as they can. Not two aspects of it doing extremely well and three aspects of it, suffering. So that's how the first thing we need to look at if we're going to have governmental mandated insurance. Now, it sounds good. We were talking earlier today, it's like almost socialized medicine. That's never going to happen here because we're a capitalistic society, at least as we stand today. What the future is with the next generations, maybe that changes. And when that changes, it'll be questionable if we'll be a democracy. I'll be gone. Somehow, some way, we need to look, and we got two functioning platforms, Medicare and Medicaid. Somehow we need to utilize them. You can reinforce it that there's no question that they'll be there in the future. Sell the policies through there, but it's got to be fair to all the stakeholders, from the policyholder to the doctor to the hospitals to the insurance companies to the drug manufacturers. If it isn't fair to all of them, it's not going to work. You can't have two aspects, pharmaceuticals and insurance companies making tons of money, and you have hospitals and doctors selling their practices on a verge of bankruptcy, having to merge up. And the Obamacare changed the game. And I don't know if it changed it for the better. I'm not in that field, but I know from what I read, it needs to be tweaked or replaced, but replaced with a program that works for everyone. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue in Jersey City. Your local collision specialist. Body and fender repair. On-site oven-baked paintwork. Fiberglass repair experts. Custom and classic car restoration. All insurance is welcome. 24-hour towing available. Licensed by the state of New Jersey. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue, 201-222-3050. Plaza Auto Body, your bumper-to-bumper buddy.
Pen & Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen & Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Watching it live on live stream, live on Roku, live on Comcast Cable, live on Apple TV, live on Facebook. Somehow we got to figure out how we can do this live on YouTube. Weren't we going to try something experimental one of these days? Because Facebook has a problem with us streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So we got to figure out a workaround. I think we're working on a workaround so we can stream live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Opioid epidemic. Now, I'm of a different generation. I'm 60 years old. When I was a kid, there were drugs all around. There's probably the same drugs now, coke. There's crack, and there's heroin. There was some stuff you probably didn't hear about, hash, that stuff was around, LSD, acid, all that stuff was around. And there were people we all knew, what we called junkies back then. We seen them, we knew them. You went to school with some of them. But I want to tell you, in the group of kids I grew up with, in Dogpatch, Jersey City, on the foot of St. Paul's Avenue and the Hackensack River, there was actually a neighborhood back there at one time. None of the guys I grew up with got involved in the drugs. Why? I don't know. We were drinking. We were drinking at a really young age, getting what we called back then hobos. Hobos, which you refer to now as homeless people, we would get hobos. But it was a different class of hobos, by the way. But that matter, last night I'm going home, and there's a woman on my block with the cup working the red lights. And this woman is like 80 years old. It's a little different. Usually I see someone with the coffee cup, it's someone like in their 20s now. Here's an 80-year-old woman asking for help, and I'm like, wow. Instead of giving a quarter, I actually gave $5 there. But in the old days, we would have the hobos go to the bar for us and get us six-packs. And I think a six-pack at the time was like $1.10. So we were drinking at a very young age. For that matter, we had cars at a very young age. I had my first car when I was like 12. But there was always drugs around, and there were people, when we left Dogpatch, occasionally we did leave the reservation and go out, Journal Square and Marion section, wherever, West New York. You've seen the junkie, and you've seen people with drug dealers. You've seen all that. Somehow, we got into really, maybe it's more coverage, maybe it's the social media deal. You hear more about people addicted to opioids. I don't know a lot about this. It's painkillers, heroin. I assume there's still crack out there, those sort of things. Now, in Ocean County, we have a studio down there also. I interviewed the Ocean County prosecutor, and it amazed me how big a problem it is in Ocean County with illegal drugs. And I would talk about Hudson County, and again, you read the Jersey Journal, really far and in between where you read a drug story. You don't even hear much about drug dealers. In the old days, you go to the Jersey Journal back in the 70s or so, 80s, you read stories about drug dealers. Very seldom you hear anything about that now. And if it is, it's really in one section of Jersey City, really up in the southern end there with Ward F. At least what they say, there's drug dealing on the corners. I don't know if it's an epidemic or it's just more coverage of it now, social media-wise. But when I was down there with Prosecutor Coronado in Ocean County, I was amazed at how much of a problem was there. And I'm telling the guy, and he's probably looking at me like I'm a nut thinker, or at least thinking it. Does this guy realize how bad this problem is? But I'm relating it to Hudson County. And there was just a story done about Narcan. That's the drug they use when somebody ODs. It's a nasal. You spray it in there, and somehow it immediately counteracts the effects of heroin or whatever drug they're taking. And from what I understand, probably one of the reasons it's so prevalent now, again, besides the social media, is the expense. Because in the old days, it was kind of expensive to get heroin. Now you're hearing things like it's $2 a hit. It's pretty damn cheap. I think in the old days, back in the 70s and the 80s, it was a little more expensive. Well, the 80s was more cocaine than heroin. But there were people using drugs all the time, but it wasn't so prevalent. And now we're expanding tons, millions and millions. Governor Christie just allocated $200 million for the epidemic, the drug epidemic. Now, I don't want to sound unsympathetic, but I have seniors that I'm trying to help who might lose their apartment because they can't afford the rent, or they're self-medicating because they can't afford the prescriptions or food. They're really having a hard time getting by. And when I talk to the health departments to get some assistance, like Section 8 or whatever, they're not entitled to it. Of course, so if Section 8, the waiting list is ridiculous. Actually, I'm being told that people put their children on at birth onto the Section 8 waiting list. If the person was destitute, we can help that person, that senior. I have a real problem with that. Here's I don't want to mention the guy's name, that it's in my head right now, but he's on a precipice of being homeless. And he's short $60 a month or $80 a month for his rent. He's no problem getting his prescriptions. Here's a guy that he needs some help and doesn't need, a free ride or anything like that. He just needs some assistance. And those are the people, I think we need to help. Now, I don't want to sound unsympathetic, but somehow you got hooked on these drugs. People are talking about prescriptions. I know Governor Christie is suing the drug manufacturers for making the painkillers, but really, the drug manufacturers don't prescribe them. The doctors do. And the doctor is going to prescribe what he thinks is necessary for his patient. Now, are there some doctors, you read occasionally, this doctor was busted, he wrote, 30,000 prescriptions for codeine or whatever, Oxidon or whatever. I don't know the names of these drugs. They're different drugs now, very long name drugs as opposed to what we used to talk about with the LSD and the acid in the old days, Orange Sunshine, that sort of thing. You're not going to get the insurance. The drug companies aren't going to come up with any money for this because, again, they don't prescribe them. They just make them. So you're going to have to go up to the doctors. And when I said earlier, this is, another insurance these doctors would have to have. Are there doctors involved in this? Overwriting prescriptions? Probably. But it's probably such a low percentage that that's not the source of the illegal drugs, painkillers. Probably the biggest source of these drugs is heroin. And I don't want to sound unsympathetic. We should do as much as we can, but I don't want to do it at the sake of my seniors or the disabled. Like I said, this guy's in my mind right now, and I'm working on some things with the seniors now. I don't want to see a senior lose their apartment. We'll have to go without food or medicine for a small amount of money, but I'm going to allocate $200 million to help some people get off the drugs, get treatment, get rehab, or whatever the case is. I don't want to sound unsympathetic, but my first priority, in my opinion, would be my seniors and the disabled. And then, we'll go to these people, for whatever reason, got hooked on the drugs. For the most part, probably for a cheap high. And what I understand with a lot of these drugs now, you really only have to use it 1 or 2 times, and you will become addicted. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back.
Meineke Car Care, conveniently located at 700 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City, half a mile north of County Road. Meineke, bumper-to-bumper car care. Brakes, exhaust, oil change, wheel alignments, batteries, CV joints, and so much more. First-rate service at a price you can afford. All major cards accepted. Apply for a Meineke card. Meineke, Jersey City. Stop by and let Sammy check your brakes for free.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. We're back. You're watching the Jersey City show. Now to get our fill of sports, mainly Hudson County High School sports, but we like to throw a little major league stuff in here. Let's bring in from the Hudson Reporter System, Jim Haig. Jim, welcome.
Hi, Pat. How are you today?
Doing good. I got my coffee. Yankees are tied up. What do you think of last night's game?
I thought it was a great performance by the Yankees. They showed me a lot. Severino especially showed me a lot, bouncing back from the game against the Twins. He was in control from the beginning. You could see he was a totally different pitcher. He was throwing with confidence. He was throwing hard. And the first 2 innings told the story for the whole game, that he was in command. He was pumped up. He was throwing 98. His slider was on the black. He was not going to get beat. And then when the Yankees reached Bauer for 4 runs in the second inning, that game was over. I mean, because Severino was not going to give up 3 runs, more than 3 runs. He was that dominant, and sets up a really, really interesting Game 5 for Wednesday night.
Yankees bats are back. They've come to life. Now, Aaron Judge, what did he strike out? 3-4 times yesterday?
4 times, but he had the 2-run double that made the game 4-0. So, but 2 of the times he was called out on strikes, and especially the last one was about 1.5 foot outside, and they called it a strike. So it looked ridiculous. But
Aaron Judge,
it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow, Wednesday night. They're facing Corey Kluber, who's the top pitcher in the American League the last 2 years, 17-2 this year with a 2.11 ERA. And he's going up against CC Sabathia, which Girardi and the Yankees are hoping that they catch a little lightning in a bottle, because Sabathia, although he was good the other night when they blew the 8-3 lead,
Sabathia has the temperament to pitch into a big game. He's been there. He's the guy that stabilizes this rotation. And really,
I agree, but he's nothing more than a number 4 starter. He's pitching on guile more than anything else. And you said they don't have another choice. Well, Sonny.
That's the great thing about the internet. Sometimes you have dropouts. Let's pick it up with Sabathia again. You got concerns about the 37-year-old lefty pitching against the Indians. I think, there's not a lot of a choice, but I think he's a good pitcher for it.
I think he's a very good number 4 pitcher, but if you're facing an elimination game, you want to have your ace. Okay, so you don't have your ace, but your number 2 is Sonny Gray, and they're passing over Sonny Gray to give the ball to Sabathia, who is not the same pitcher as he was when he pitched for Cleveland or when he pitched for Milwaukee or even early in his Yankee career. He's doing it on guile and a lot of sliders, but they're taking a risk by giving the ball to Sabathia. We'll see. The odds, I think, are against the Yankees, but still, for them to get to Game 5 is a major accomplishment.
Well, I'll assume everyone's in the bullpen. If Sabathia has a bad first inning, second inning, they're going to go to Sonny Gray. They're going to go to the next man up. They're not going to let anybody sit in there for 5 innings.
Correct. They're going to all men out. Whoever's there is going to get a chance to throw tomorrow. No question.
Before we get into the high school, what do you think of the Astro Red Sox?
I wasn't surprised. The Red Sox stumbled home. They didn't play well at all in September. Their pitching was dreadful down the stretch. And once the Astros got Verlander, that pretty much put them in a class by themselves. And the Astros having Verlander and Dallas Keuchel is a dangerous 1-2 combination.
It was odd how the Astro manager handled it yesterday. It looked like he was in an elimination game because he brought Verlander in.
Right away. It was strange. He wanted to win that series and get it over with and have 6 days rest for his team. So he wanted to get it over with. He did it the right way.
Well, we got some exciting baseball coming up, but what's going on in Hudson County sports? Bring me up to date.
Well, I was at a very exciting high school football game on Friday night, which pit number 1 in the state, St. Peter's Prep, against number 2 in the state, DePaul Catholic of Wayne. And incredibly, St. Peter's Prep was losing 21-7 with 7:45 left to go in the game. And they scored 1 touchdown with 5:45, held DePaul to 3 and out, got the ball back, and scored the next touchdown with about 2:13 left to go in the game. And instead of kicking the extra point and sending the game to overtime, Prep head coach Rich Hansen showed a lot of guts by deciding to go for 2 points. And he, instead of taking his quarterback and sprinting him out right, he sprinted Masai Maynor out to the left where he had no chance to throw the ball. There was a run-pass option if he went right, but he ran left, which meant he had to get to the pylon on his own, and sure enough he did, and Prep won the game 22-21. And it was one of the most thrilling games I can remember down at Caven Point. It was a great game.
They're the head coach that's securing his position on that team. Because, and
well, he's been there for 30 years. So,
99% of the coaches kick it.
Yeah, 99% of the coaches kick it, but he's been there for 30 years. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. And incredibly, he did the same thing in the 1989 state championship game against St. Joe's of Montvale. They scored the touchdown to make it 21-20. And then everybody thought they were going to go for the extra point to tie it, and he went for 2 and got it, and they won the state championship 22-21, same score. It's pretty amazing how that all played out. It was very similar. Stakes weren't the same, but it was very similar in the fact that both times Hansen went for 2. It showed a lot of guts by doing so.
Well, he's consistent with his coaching decisions again. He must know the opposition.
Yeah, 29 years later. Yeah.
Well, it worked
29
30
years later,
ago.
he was very consistent. Yeah, 29 years ago, he was very consistent, and I just happened to be at both games. I was there on the sidelines in 1989 in Montville, and I was doing the PA announcing at the game on Friday night. It was a thrilling game, and it was one for the memory books, especially for St. Peter's Prep football. And
Anything
it's
else? We
cemented
got
their place.
55 seconds.
Wow. Well, the St. Peter's Prep plays Bergen Catholic this weekend in Oradell. Again, it'll be number 1 against number 2, and the Prep has their work cut out for them this weekend. Bergen Catholic is very, very good. That's going to be another war. So they're going to go from one war to the next.
I bet Bergen Catholic will be on guard for that 2-point conversion.
I think so too. I think everybody will be now. Everybody will be watching it.
Now, are there any good wide receivers we can get from St. Peter's Prep for the Giants?
No, right now, but the Giants should. There's a wide receiver who's sitting in his living room in Lyndhurst right now by the name of Victor Cruz that nobody's saying anything at all. And yesterday, McAdoo said he's not an option. Well, I don't know why he's not an option, because he's sitting there not working for anybody.
Jimmy, good to have you. I'll see you next week. Go cover the game. Tell us what happens with St. Peter's Prep on Tuesday. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks so much, Pat.
All right, we're going to break for commercial. That was Jim Haig from the Hudson Reporter System. We'll be right back. It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Jim Haig from the Hudson Reporter. You see, we taped that on a Tuesday. He's here live on Tuesday, so we're talking about the Yankees. I was not concerned at all. I knew CC would do the job. Jimmy there covers all the Hudson County high school sports. Got big football season. I got to start reading up more on it so I can see if I can trick Mr. Haig or to impress him with my high school knowledge. Safe Streets, Vision Zero. You know, they call the campaign season a silly season, where weird promises are made, strange accusations are made, all that stuff goes on. And there's been some forums, debates for the mayoral candidates in Jersey City. Of course, Mayor Stephen Fulop and the challenger, former corp counsel for the city of Jersey City, Bill Matsukutis. And accusations go back and forth, and each one of these forums are hosted by some group that has an agenda or an issue or something they want addressed and attention. The last one was done by JC Safe Streets, and they talk about Vision Zero that I think started in Sweden, because all good things start in Sweden. IKEA right now is opening a branch that sells cat and dog furniture for your pet from IKEA. All good things start in Sweden. It started in Sweden, and New York City adopted it when de Blasio was elected in 2013. And I don't think it's been that successful. Vision Zero there. It had more to do with speed limits, and I think speed cameras over there is none of the protected bike lanes. Funny how we kind of pervert all this. Now, Safe Streets, Jersey City, asked both candidates, would you support Vision Zero? Now, yes, I'm 100% committed to that. Well, when you really look at it, do you want Vision Zero in Jersey City? Now, I know the bicyclist community is going to get upset about this, but there aren't a hell of a lot of bicyclists in Jersey City. On the average day, and I ride around Jersey City quite a bit because I live here, I'll see, 8 bicyclists. maybe 10 on a good day, and I'll see thousands of cars. And, we keep talking about making protected bike lanes and, all the things we can do for the bicyclists. There are very few bicyclists here. I'm from the Heights. The City Bike, they're taking out docking stations up here. I guess City Bike works if you're going to pedal to the path, depending on weather. What they're talking about with Vision Zero, and it didn't happen in New York City yet. They had to step up with some of the highway of death over there. They had some highways, some streets that were almost impossible to cross, kind of like crossing Journal Square. Jesse Owens couldn't make it across Journal Square with the time allotted. They're talking about redesign of our streets to accommodate motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists. Well, let me explain a couple of things. First off, the streets are for motorists. We already have a place for pedestrians. It's called the sidewalk and crosswalks. And it is worse than it's ever been with pedestrians from smartphones. It's amazing how you're looking at your phone as you're walking, or you're talking to somebody, and you no longer can walk and talk. People just walk out in the street. I go down Central Avenue. It's like one of those visual training aids that the cops use, where the bad guy pops up and you shoot him, and it could be an innocent. You don't shoot that person. One of those test deals. It's getting very difficult to drive. As far as bikes, protected bike lanes, well, that starts to squeeze the streets. And, we don't have a very wide street. Most of our streets in Jersey City are one lane. There's very few two-lane each direction streets in Jersey City. So you really don't want to squeeze them, because a lot of deliveries are made in Jersey City, especially on the shopping districts, Central and Newark Avenue and Palisades, all the big shopping areas. And we got to accommodate those tractor trailers or straight jobs or cube vans or whatever the case may be. It is inherently dangerous for someone to be riding a bike on the streets of Jersey City. Now, you want to ride a bike? You go to the park. And people say, well, I can ride a bike to work. Well, I'll tell you, you're not riding a bike to work in the rain. You're not going to ride a bike in the snow. Well, when there's snow on the ground or ice on the ground, it's pretty stupid. If it's freezing cold, you're not riding that bike. And if it's super hot, it's what we did a show on the Jersey City show about city bike stink, about these people, and we were talking about it with some of the Ward A guys and the people in the Newport section, talking about people biking to work in a suit and tie. They get to work, they're drenched. It really isn't practical. And they're talking about, well, do we really need a car? Well, you need a car, you want to go shopping. I still go food shopping. I know some places deliver, but we go food shopping. You want to go on a date? We go put the babe on the handlebars? That's not going to work. And I'm going to tell you, in this day and age, the guy with the car still got a better shot of getting that girl than that guy who's going to walk or take a bike. You want to go to a movie and a dinner? Need your car. And people say Uber. Well, you can take an Uber. Well, Uber's got some issues. And two, Uber's a car. So we're not taking any cars off the street. There's a car. I'm taking a car if I'm going to a movie and a dinner, and I took Uber. Now, once the movie's done, I want to go to dinner. I got to take Uber again. Not very practical. I'll take my car. You want to go for a weekend getaway? They're doing it on the bike. Vacation? Yeah, doing that on the bike. And I know, like Ron, one of the big cyclist enthusiasts here in Jersey City, even Ron has a car. Even the cyclist people have cars. So before we start throwing millions of dollars at redesigning our streets to accommodate probably less than 1% of our population that's using the bikes outside for outside of recreation. Some people want to ride around on the weekend. It's a little different deal on the weekends. It's not a different deal during the week. It is dangerous for you to be pedaling around. You want to embrace Vision Zero? They're talking about speed cams in New York City. Remember how we were with the red light cams? Can you imagine how it would be with speed cams? Again, we are not New York City. We keep pointing to New York City as that's the solution. For that matter, in Ward A, they were talking about parking in Jersey City. I'm going to get to parking in a little bit. And they bring up Hoboken. Hoboken is atrocious with parking. Anybody who brings up Hoboken as an example of handling parking is an idiot. And every time I hear someone bring up Hoboken, I just look at the person, idiot. We're not New York City. We don't have their mass transit. We don't have a subway every 2 blocks. We don't have their buses. We don't have their wide roads. We are not New York City. So stop saying, whatever New York City does, it's good for Jersey City. It's not. Bikes should be on the streets. during the work hours. You want to do them on a weekend, there's less traffic, that's fine. But you're going to go pedaling around with straight jobs, buses, tractor trailers, cube vans, cars, SUVs. That's dangerous. Vision Zero, I'm sure it works in New York City. I know it won't work in Jersey City. We need to become car friendly. And for whatever reason, there's a war on cars here. And I'll probably get into that as we go on in Jersey City. And, Hoboken, terrible with parking. I forget I'm on a Hudson County show here. All right, listen, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County show. We're going to do a little bit of North Bergen when we come back. We'll be right back.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show, and you're watching it live on live stream, live on Facebook, pre-recorded on YouTube, live on Comcast Channel 190 in Jersey City, and live on all the other streaming platforms. We're streaming all over, and we will figure out this stream on Facebook and YouTube. I thought we need to test that. Just haste to test it when we're actually doing a program. Let's go to North Bergen, Jersey, the North Bergen Library, which is an incredible library. I bet they even have books that you can rent, even if they have printed ones. I think everything's digital now. They have a nice little program going on at the library concerning retirement, Social Security benefits, disability benefits. Let's put them up. I see that fine little park. Social Security Administration Retirement Benefit Workshop. This is at the North Bergen Free Public Library. And really, it is an excellent library. Nick Sacco and the people that run the library there, Saya, do a great job. Let's see the other half of this. It was a little long. We couldn't put it all on the screen at one time. Yeah, it's all about disability benefits, how to apply for them, how to get the most you can. As you become of a certain age, you really got to start looking into this. If you have some disabilities or you're applying for disability through Social Security, I would advise you to take a look because they got the benefit workshop coming. What's the date on this? I don't see the date. Let me see. We got a date on there somewhere? Well, actually, you can just go to the website when they're doing this disability benefit workshop. This is coming to the North Bergen Public Library, and it's probably, if you're coming of that age, you should go, whether you're looking for disability or not, for when you're getting ready to file your disability. This is going to be on October, well, I think we already passed that, right? Yeah. Well, go to the the North Bergen Public Library's website and find out about the workshops. And this way, you can get up to speed. Now, if you're getting close to retirement age, you don't always have to be the disability. Just how to find out how you're going to file for it, what your benefits are, how long should you wait is a big question. Should you take it at 65, you wait for 70. If you're in good shape, I would wait for the 70 years old before I go for the benefits there. But the North Bergen Public Library, whether it's movies, books, workshops, cooking, it is the most active library you are ever going to see. It actually, we in the other studio, we bring in the Ocean County Library people in there, and they got a ton of activity. They are nowhere as active as the North Bergen Public Library, so kudos to the library staff and Nick Sacco. And let's go to Bayonne. Let's turn that backdrop to a Bayonne backdrop. That's that good little park at Braddock Park there. That's where I met my turtle friend one time. When I was a lowly cameraman in the beginning of our times on television, I was the guy that went out and did all the B-roll. Now we got, there we go. Is that the new bridge? No, it's a newer bridge, right? That's the Bayonne Bridge that they raised the deck on? I don't know if that's a new one or the old one. That's a question we should probably have answered, because I know they raised the deck. I don't know if that's the raised one or the low. It's probably the old picture. Doesn't matter, it's the Bayonne Bridge. You got a two-horse race in Bayonne now for mayor. Now, chances are there'll be a third candidate. It'll be interesting to see who brings the third candidate in. Jason O'Donnell, former firefighter from Bayonne, former assemblyman from the 31st District. He is now going to run. He announced last night he is running for mayor. We will bring him in or an interview maybe Tuesday. I wanted to bring him in today because he announced last night that he's running for mayor. But he had to take his child to the doctor this morning, so I couldn't get him in for today's show. So I'll try to get him in for next Tuesday on the Jersey City show. We'll interview him there, and of course we'll replay it on Thursday. Also, I want to get some of the guys in from Ward F. Try to get at least 8 minutes. I know Tyrone Ballone, he wants to get in. I think Anthony Blake wants to get in again. So we'll see if we can get them set up to bring them in the computers. We're getting closer and closer to Election Day in Jersey City. I want to make sure I get as many of the candidates as possible. Getting back to Bayonne with Jay O'Donnell. Jay is going to be formidable for Jimmy Davis. You know, there's issues in Bayonne, and it's a great town. But the issues there, property taxes constantly are going up, and they go up in big increments. Unlike Nick Sacco in North Bergen. You know, again, these are not Stack and Sacco are two guys that aren't kicking cans down the road. They'll address their problems. They know what their problems are going to be 3-4 years down the road. So when Sacco or Stack raise your taxes, you know, it's 1%, 2% increase, never that 8%, 10%, or any crazy gimmicks to plug a budget hole with either one of those guys. Bayonne, they are a distressed situation with property taxes there. The Suez water agreement is a killer for Bayonne. That was a bad deal, and it probably precedes Jimmy Davis. Terrible deal. The handling of the MOT land is an awful deal. I remember Joe Doria not wanting containers ports in the MOT. Now I think that's all you have. There's containers all over Jersey, Bayonne. You know, I think the official bird of Bayonne now is a container. Everything's containers out of the MOT. That was mishandled. Again, you know, you want to blame Jimmy Davis? There's been development over the last 3 years there, some questionable. They got a reval going on. They sat on their reval for quite a while. That's going to come back and bite Jimmy Davis and his administration. They're getting into the redevelopment in Bayonne, and now they're giving out abatements. And Bayonne just looks over to Jersey City and sees what happened with abatements. Bayonne, unlike Jersey City, is really a bedroom community. It's a real blue-collar, family, mom-and-pop town. And not everybody's crazy about the high-rise development. And, you know, I think both candidates realize some development is needed, but not to the scale that Bayonne is doing right now. And I think that's a problem with the population there. You know, just the Bayonne Bridge, we're joking about, is this the new bridge or the old bridge? Because they raised the deck. I'm not sure in that picture there. That wasn't handled properly. You know, I think Bayonne could have done a better job standing up for the residents whose homes were contaminated, damaged, whatever you want to say, from the bridge construction, from raising the deck to allow the new ships to come in. There are a lot of issues in Bayonne, and it's going to be an interesting mayoral race there in Bayonne between Jimmy Davis and Jason O'Donnell. And you know there's going to be another candidate in. Really, it would be ideal if these two guys just went head-to-head, but somebody's going to get in there. And it'll be interesting when you look at the next candidate coming in, who brought him in. Somebody to take away from Jimmy Davis's supporters or Jason O'Donnell. But I guarantee you it is going to be an ugly. In Jersey City, you got the race with Fulop and Massachusetts. Really a very calm race. There isn't a lot of mudslinging. That's not going to happen in Bayonne. There is going to be a ton of mudslinging here. So take that to the bank. I will try to bring in these candidates, Jimmy Davis and Jay O'Donnell, as much as I can coming into election, but that's next year in 2018. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back.
Pen and Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone. Meineke Car Care, conveniently located at 700 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City, half a mile north of County Road. Meineke bumper-to-bumper car care. Brakes, exhaust, oil change, wheel alignments, batteries, CV joints, and so much more. First-rate service at a price you can afford. All major cards accepted. Apply for a Meineke card. Meineke, Jersey City. Stop by and let Sammy check your brakes for free.
We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show. Pat O'Melia here. You concerned Hudson County resident there. That's why you're watching the show. Hopefully we're informing you and entertaining you a little bit. And we're doing this live. You can watch live by livestream.com. Go to live stream, put in events. You got it in Hudson Media, Facebook, Comcast Channel 190. We'll be up on YouTube. It's all running across the bottom of the screen there. We just hosted the Ward E council debates here Tuesday night. It's up on our website, hmgtvshows.com. That's the Newport section, the Gold Coast section of Jersey City. And one of the questions Al Sullivan asked was affordable housing. And on Tuesday's show, I questioned what really is affordable housing. Is $1,800 a month affordable? I don't know. And Mayor Fulop wants to have a 20% affordable component to any developments now in Jersey City. And I know that sounds good on paper, but if I get people who are just making it income-wise to get that affordable unit on the Gold Coast there on the waterfront, can they afford to live in that area? They can get the rent, but can they afford everything else that goes on in that area, from the shopping to the food to the parking to the coffee? It's a big difference, price of coffee on the Hudson River there in the Newport section of Jersey City than on West Side Avenue. So it's really questionable what is affordable, and should we have affordable components in the most expensive part of Jersey City? Because everything in Jersey City in that area is more expensive because of the property values, and that's transferred into the rentals. And that person with a store in downtown Jersey City is paying a bigger rent than somebody on Palisade Avenue in the Heights or on West Side Avenue. So when we put somebody in an affordable unit, they're in the affordable unit, but can they afford to live in that section of the city? You need somebody a little more sociological background than me. But during the Ward E debate, we have a revow going on in Jersey City. And some parts of Jersey City are going to get beaten up. The Heights, where I live, is going to have a very difficult time. We haven't done a revow since, I think, 1987. I mentioned before, West Side, that's going to have a problem. Newport, the waterfront section, is going to have a problem. These homes haven't been assessed in a long, long time. And when that revow is going to come by, sometime in November, it's going to be very stressful for the owners of those homes, which in this case are basically all going to be seniors. If you haven't been assessed in the last, almost 30 years, chances are you're of a senior age right now. How do we protect these seniors from this revow? And the Ward E candidates were talking about the senior rebate. That's like $250 a year, something like that, $250. That's insulting these seniors when you say, well, we'll help them fill out the paper and make sure they're aware of this. That is not going to help them. We need in Jersey City, and now Bayonne's going through the same deal over there too. There has to be a plan in place, and I've talked about this before on the Jersey City show. Mayor Fulop has a financial background. Somehow we got to figure out how to protect the seniors and the disabled. Now, again, we haven't done this in almost 30 years. So, some couple who were 35 years old bought that house up on South Street in the Heights 30 years ago. They're 65, 70 years old. How do I protect them from not losing their home when the revow is done? Because their property taxes are going to skyrocket. We got to come up with a way. And some people talk about phasing in. I don't know if you can do a phase in. Yeah, I have a city in Jersey City that is flourishing. Yeah, I don't know if everybody shares in it. All the activity that has happened over the years on the waterfront, can we take any more success in the rest of the city? But we have a budget that has gone up approximately $25 million a year in Jersey City under Mayor Fulop over the last 4 years. I think it's over 4 years, it's went up almost $100 million, $98 million, something like that. If I have a budget that can sustain that type of increase, $25 million a year, I have a budget that should be able to protect my seniors and the people who are disabled. If I have a senior that's 70 years old, somehow I got to protect that senior. Somehow this city's got to figure a way that their property taxes don't skyrocket to such a point that they have to leave their home. They have to sell. This person wants to be in Jersey City, a lifelong Jersey City, born here, raised here, worked hard to buy that home. And, if we were doing our due diligence, and listen, that's not Fulop's fault here. Now, Fulop had some fault with the original reval that started under Mayor Healy, and it was completed pretty much when Mayor Fulop was elected, but, he didn't want the numbers from that reval. They disputed that, and went through the courts, and the courts we kept losing and losing. So the city of Jersey City has to pay for a full reval that we never got to use, because once the reval numbers were over 3 years old, we couldn't use them, and we got to pay interest on it. So it's probably somewhere around $5 million hit we took there. Plus, we have to pay another concern to do the reval. It's just, I believe it's now been completed. Somehow, we have to figure out how to protect these people that they can stay in their homes. I don't know what system we can use, but I know if we can take $25 million increases on our budget every year, something could be done to offset what's happening. Now, again, it's not Mayor Fulop's fault with this reval. You can go back to Brett Shunler. Should have been done under Shunler. Should have been done under Glenn D. Cunningham. Should have been done under Healy. Healy was mayor for 9 years. We didn't do this. And Healy was doing it as he, this was last year. Let's get that reval going. Then he delayed it. Campaign-wise, was probably a good reason. And it took effect under the watch of Mayor Fulop, and he disputed those figures. And we talk about redeveloping parts of Jersey City, Journal Square, the West Side now. I don't think Jersey City can handle any more success like it had on the waterfront, because we didn't all share in that. The case they talk about, the tide lifts all boats. Well, that tide didn't get up the hill. It didn't make it into the Heights. It didn't make it into the Journal Square area over the last 30 years. Maybe it is now, but we're maybe giving away the store there too as we do it. Somehow, some way, we need to come up with a plan to protect these homeowners, the seniors and the disabled. All right, I'm out of time. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you Tuesday. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Ward B debate. Good night.